Greetings, fellow residents of Hastings, Minnesota. My name is Alec Matheson, and you are watching Strangely Local, a Hastings Community TV original series. Often we look up to the stars and ask, what is up there? But tonight's story, told by fellow Hastings resident Jay McCord, reminds us to also look below the surface and ask what is down there. What started as a simple fishing trip turned into something else entirely. Let us take a few minutes to listen.
Well, it had been a busy week at work, and I decided to take my Saturday off to spend a few hours fishing out on Lake Rebecca. I woke up bright and early and got everything in order for the occasion. I set off at 7 that morning, set sail an hour later.
Did you bring coffee?
I am my own cup of coffee.
Bring an iPod for music?
Nah, no gizmos. Just me, my fishing rod, my bait, and my boat and the water.
Ah, man of tradition.
You've got that right. Anyway, I was in no rush at the start. I had my breakfast before. I headed out, so I was full. It was in the third hour out that my stomach began to grumble a little, and in the fourth hour I started to get hungry and very impatient. Come on, I said out loud at the lake. Just one catch and I could call it a day. At that moment I saw a fish swim by. It analyzed the worm on the hook and almost came close to a bite, but then it became startled and swam away. Then more fish popped up and followed its direction, all of the same kind and size, like something had terrified them. A splash sound alerted me, and a quick and forceful push underneath tussled the boat, causing it to spin around a little.
Did you realize at that point that you needed a bigger boat?
I was thinking I needed a submarine. When the boat became steady again, I could only make out a scaly fin moving through the water, following the direction of the fish. I did not and could not identify the fin belonging to any aquatic critter I could name offhand. Anything bigger than the number of names I assumed might be the culprit of interrupting my Saturday plans, I knew couldn't possibly survive in these kind of waters. Unfortunately, the water was too dirty to properly make out what it was, and the sun was too bright too. I could make out something of a silhouette, and it looked to have 2 legs, 2 arms, a head, and tail. I was suddenly reminded of the aquatic monster movies of my youth, and a range of emotions had followed from there. The first was surprise. The second was fear. The third was excitement, because you never think you would be that sort of person that discovers something as fantastic. But then it happens, and your mind just sparks with thoughts. I remembered I didn't have a camera. I remembered I didn't have a phone. So how would anyone believe me? Maybe I could catch it. I thought about that, but then drew to the conclusion that maybe I shouldn't be that ambitious. But a unique scratch on my boat could be just fine. It would be easier to call me a liar if the fishhook were crooked. But a mark left on metal that no one could simply create, that was the hill I wanted to settle on. So I started the engine and headed out further down the lake. I followed the trail of bubbles and ventured to where land was much a distance away. When I got closer, I slowed down the boat, making sure the engine was quieter and not as noticeable to any other living thing in the area, above and below the surface. So the trail of bubbles had ended, and I stopped the engine, allowing the water itself to take care of the direction of my boat. I looked around constantly, slowly, my attention completely focused on the water. I waited, and waited, and waited, and I got bored. My hunger returned. My attention turned back to fishing, so I got my rod, put a fresh worm on the hook, and let it loose in the water. 20 minutes later, I felt something. I caught something, at last. As I began to pull my rod back, the strength of the fish was unreal. And then I thought to myself, oh, could this be that thing? I was right. A game of tug-of-war was being played, and I was losing momentum. The thing pulled the boat to it. It was with so much force that I fell back in the boat. A long, scaly claw emerged from below my line of sight and grabbed hold of the boat. The thing slowly raised its head. I could only see the top of its head and its eyes. Its head was egg-shaped, its skin like that of a crocodile, its eyes huge, wide, and black like a doll's eyes. I screamed in terror and shut my eyes with force. When I opened them, the creature was no longer there. I sat up, turned on the engine, took my boat back to land. When I got the boat out of the water, I saw claw marks on the edge, so I succeeded in that respect. I have a story to tell and evidence to back it up.
Mission accomplished. Mind if you share a picture with us?
Happy to, Alec. Thanks for listening.
You are welcome, friend. Have a nice day. Do you believe Mr. McCord's story or not? Let us know down in the comments. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We'll be back with more tales of the unusual next weekend on Strangely Local. Till then, Hastings, keep things strange.